Welcome back to This Week. We caught up with Metro Police Chief John Drake, who is pushing for a citywide justice system-wide discussion of recidivism, the growing number of repeat offenders who get arrested, get released, commit another crime, and get arrested again, and keep getting arrested. Chief Drake calls repeat offenders who continue to be released on bond only to commit more crimes a troubling trend.
And I would say it's becoming a major issue. We looked at over the past year, over the past 12 months, we've had over 3,000 people arrested for Part 1 crimes, homicide, rape, aggravated assault, motor vehicle theft, and et cetera. And of that, about 16% have been rearrested and were out on a pretrial or bond. And so it's been very, very concerning. Time and time again, how this continues to happen, and then not to think the community begins to feel unsafe because it continues to let these people do harm over and over. But then the men and women of the police department also get discouraged because they keep rearresting these same people. And it's discouraging for us. It's discouraging for me as police chief and all of us too. It's very disheartening. It's a big problem. Everyone doesn't need to be released. If you're involved in a violent crime, if you're involved in homicide, carjackings, or you have a long criminal history, then there needs to be consideration. There need to be conversations had to hold these people more accountable and give them more time to think about what they've done.
The chief is sounding the alarm. Change needs to occur.
The system is much bigger than the police department. You know, we make the arrest, the individual goes into the system and they're released. We feel public safety should be considered before these people are released, and there should be mechanisms of communications held where these people are discussed and it's decided if they'll get released or what conditions. Also, people that are mentally incompetent, we have to look at that a lot more closely. For those that are mentally incompetent, that they still need to be held accountable, but there should be wraparound services to try to help them. But releasing them back to prey upon the public is not the answer.
It's not just adult criminals. Juvenile repeat offenders are also a major concern.
And we're seeing the same trend there too, just over and over and over again, the same people being rearrested, charged with violent crime, carjacking, aggravated assault with a weapon, homicide, and they're back out. We had a robbery crew that the kids were between 14 and 16, I believe, and they committed 17 robberies that we know of. So there's others that we probably don't know of. So they get arrested on last Monday morning, and by that afternoon, early afternoon, they're already out. And people were saying this shouldn't have happened. It was a mistake made, but still, the system can't make those kind of mistakes. So we're seeing that. We all need to talk about these violent people, especially it's frustrating to me when you hear someone that committed a murder in 2020, and then 2021 they commit another murder, and you're like, how does that happen? And then in 2024 they commit aggravated assault where they shoot someone, and you're like, how does that even happen? And it's time for the community, it's time for all of us, the police department, Nashville, all of us to start saying enough's enough. And we all need, everyone plays a role in this, and we all need to be speaking up and getting involved.
The high recidivism rate is frustrating to police officers.
It's deflating to the men and women who are passionate about what they do, and they go out and they investigate these people. One, you have a crime, it's like a puzzle. You have all the pieces there, and they have to put it together. And the painstaking hours and the phone calls and visiting crime scenes and talking to witnesses and doing all the legwork and then putting a case together, prosecuting it, having this person convicted, and then you think, hey, this person was convicted of murder. Hopefully they'll have some time to think about what they did, and then a year later you're arresting them again, and it's very frustrating for them. They put their lives at risk, investigating these things, involving themselves deeply into these crimes, and so it hurts really, and it hurts the families of those as well. So you have a young person or a person who is no longer with us, been involved in a crime, and then and they've been a part of the prosecutorial process, and then they see that person's out too. It's very disheartening for everybody.
Chief Drake wants a conversation about repeat offenders and the release of certain suspects to involve prosecutors, judges, police, and others involved with the criminal justice system to come together to fix this.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that everyone has their constitutional right to have a bond, but we need to look at if that person is going to be a danger to the community or not, and if that bond should be set higher. The limitations or the factors around it. Never should it be a low bond where they can get back out and immediately start harming people again, which is what we're seeing. Never should it be made by an organization where they don't have to pay bond, but they're released to harm people. And so, yes, I believe in the constitutional right, but I believe that we should look at those that are more likely to harm society and look at how we can have a better mechanism to keep them from hurting people.
And the chief wants the citizens of Nashville involved.
I'm hoping the general public begins to see that, hey, we have a problem. And it's not the police department, it's all of us. It's the police department, it's everything, it's the whole community. We need to come together and we need to hold people accountable. And so we need to start the conversations with everyone in the community justice arena to start saying, how do we fix this? How do we prevent this from happening? How do we tell mom that your baby wouldn't have been harmed if we would have done something with this person? And so, actually, on this side of the fence, we're tired of having those conversations. We wanted to stop, and so that's what I'm hoping we get out of it.
Stay with us. This Week continues in a moment.